Um, and if there's any other questions on that. And then.
Oh, could you go back? I was still reading. I'm sorry. Thank you. So we're rolling in a lot more revenue than budgeted. It looks like $1 million more. Or
So it's 1.4 to begin with, yeah, so it's roughly a million.
Yeah.
But after expenses, it's kind of.
yeah,
Right, so no anomalies besides the waste management.
Right, yeah. Monthly cost, nothing out of the ordinary, but I can get to that on the next page.
please.
There was, biggest thing was probably Veolia contract we have with them for contractor costs for disposal. That was the biggest. Expense this month, and then Huntington National Bank, which was the lease on the front load. It was that much this month because back in 24, they changed their billing system and we didn't make 2 payments. So they tacked it on at the end of the lease, so it is paid for after this payment. So there's no more lease on the front load.
So if no more lease on the front load, does that mean that it's paid for and it will stay a Metro vehicle, or that the
Yeah.
lease is over and it's going back?
No,
and so on?
I mean,
Okay.
payments. as
Sure.
in-
That's what I thought. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure.
They labeled it as a lease, but it's, yeah. It's paid for and it's a little Metro.
But hold on.
That makes sense.
Okay, everything looks like it's pretty typical expenses. Anything over 5,000 has already been approved. Any questions? Do we hear a motion to approve the budget report in a second? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, let's move forward to education calendar.
Or,
Yeah, well, first,
oh, sorry.
we were wondering if it's okay to invest.
Got it. Okay. I thought you meant out of new business. Okay. Let's go with Louisville Tool Library then. And welcome.
Oh, thank you. Good to be here. Okay. So let me.
While he's doing that, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Nick Garner. I'm the development chair for the Louisville Tool Library located in Shelby Park. I have with me here today Paul Faget, who is the operations chair, who will be coming up and answering any questions that you guys have. I'm so pleased to be here today from the Louisville Library. As you all know, last year for FY26, you guys gave us a very generous grant out of the Metro Solid Waste budget. And I'm just here today to present some updates on how that grant funding has been spent so far and the impacts that it's had on the library. So when we applied for this grant, we gave ourselves one objective that we wanted to address for you guys, which I think is right down the center line of your mission, which was how can we prevent as much solid waste? We had to ask ourselves the question, how does a tool library prevent solid waste? So we reached out to other tool libraries who have had to answer this question before, and we discovered a formula that we applied to our own tool library. We found we prevent it in 2 specific ways. We prevent it directly because
Up at the top there.
if I lost focus.
Go ahead. Simon.
There we go. Sorry. So we prevent it directly because 25% of the time someone borrows a tool from the library, it actually prevents the purchase of a tool that they otherwise would have bought. And it prevents it indirectly because 60% of users report they are more likely to reuse, repair, or recycle 2 additional items per year. So what does that mean for us. Okay, this is what it has meant for us in the year immediately preceding the grant period of performance, 2024 to 2025. So that's November of 2024 to October of 2025. This is right before we received funds from. So for direct, we took the annual loans per member, we multiplied that by the purchase avoidance rate of 25%, and then we multiplied that by the average tool weight in our inventory of most commonly borrowed tools, 7.7 kilograms. We came up with a number of about 28.9 direct kilograms per waste prevented per member per year. And indirectly, we took the additional items we used to repair to the average weight of a generic household item, and then the behavior rate of 60%, came up with 6.6 indirect kilograms of waste prevented per member per year. And then cumulatively, we add the two together and then multiply them by the number of members the library had at that time, 474. Which is how we learned for the first time the library already was preventing about 16.8 metric tons of waste every year. So we asked ourselves, what can we use Metro Solid Waste grant funds to impact from that equation? And we came up with three answers. One, we can impact the average number of loans per member. We can impact the average tool weight that we are loaning out to members. And we can impact the number of members that we have, and all of our members are on. So we had one objective, present solid waste. We had two methods that we were going to try and use to do that: improve our inventory and increase our membership. And we gave ourselves three key performance indicators to track to prove whether or not we were doing that. And I'm going to talk about those three now. The three are, so to answer the question, have we improved our inventory? We're going to look at our cumulative tool loans across all our members. We had a growth goal of 20%. And for our membership, we had two things that we were going to track. How many community workshops are we doing that expose us and socialize us to our the community that we sit in? And that sort of gave us a hint of the pipeline of potential future members. We'll talk about why that's important in a bit. We said we were going to do 8 of those a year. And for membership growth, we put a target of 25% growth of our total membership. We're going to try and grow our total membership by 25% in the course of a year. So how are we doing on that? So for tool loans, again, this impacts the annual loans per member and the average tool weight. Our goal was 20% growth. An important thing to know about the library is that the tool library is very seasonal. So in the period that we just exited, November through April, those first 6 months are quiet for us. And what I'm showing here is our loans for 2425. And when we compare that to what so these are our most active months. We had set a goal in the previous 6 months of increasing by 20%, hoping to do the same in the future two months. I'm pleased to announce that we did actually beat our goal. We increased our loans by 24%. Very pleased about. The way your grant dollars helped to impact those loans were because it allowed us, your grant dollars allowed us to purchase high demand, heavy, shareable tools. We made $4,600 so far in new tool purchases. They're high demand tools like lawnmowers, pressure washers, chainsaws. They are heavy. They have an average weight of 9.5 kilograms, which is 2 kilograms higher than our average loaned tool in general. They are battery and electric powered. We cannot keep gas tools in our library, which means there are no 2-stroke engines going out into the community. And these battery powered tools are the ones being shared the most. And they are very shareable. So they're needed regularly, but not constantly. And we needed to increase our inventory to make sure that we kept pace with membership growth to keep that loan per member high. If we just add new members and we don't add inventory, we run the risk of decreasing the loans per member. People can get the tool. Your grant allowed us to do that. I wanted to include some pictures of us unpacking this incredible package of tools from Greenworks. These are really excellent things. They're in really high demand. That they're being used a lot already. Community workshops. I wanted to talk about this. So we put this as one of our KPIs based on an assumption, based on the behaviors that we were seeing working in circulation at the library, which is that people who visit the library for whatever reason become members. And that is because when people visit the space and see what's available, they just pay. So our goal was to do 8 workshops in a year. What we've actually done is 10 workshops. And the way your grant funds allowed us to do that is because we were able to pay our instructors. Our instructors are actually the only paid staff, paid members of the library in general. Everything else in the library is run by volunteers, including myself, Paul, Catherine. So we so far have paid out $2,300 for instructor pay and supplies. We have put $800 into marketing our workshops to boost attendance. And I just have some photos here of the kinds of workshops that we do, because that's really fun. So we've got things like Homeowner Hand Tools 101, a mending workshop for stitching, and an electrical basics workshop run by a master electrician that we have now run several times. Paul, do you have any idea how many times we've run this?
He's done this one.
It's
sold out.
It's sold out every single time. People cannot get enough of these workshops. Let me talk about membership growth. Two things are very tightly related. So of course, this impacts the number of members. We set ourselves a goal of adding net 117 members, which would be a 25% growth on the library for the year. This is the historical data from what our new members looked like during the winter months of 24 and 25. I'm so pleased to show that we beat these new member numbers every single month in 25, 26, which I was very, very pleased to see. So we had set a goal of 117 net new members for the year. And I was reviewing this deck earlier this afternoon, and I was like, I really should do the thing that I did with the tool groups. I should group them together. I should group those months together so we can see them side by side and compare them historically. And then I shouldn't look at new members. I should look at the net members. Net members is what we care about. New members in, memberships expire. When I looked at that, I realized something pretty dramatic, actually, which is that for the period we just left, the previous 6 months, in 24 and 25, we actually lost 9 members. That was the goal we were trying. This is the bar we had to clear for this period of performance. I realized something else, which is that our cumulative gain for the whole of last year was 59 members. So I thought I was setting a growth target of 25%. Wanted to grow the whole library by 25%. But the target I was actually setting when I did that was growing our growth by 129%. This is very, very important context for what I'm about to show you next. Because as I mentioned, November and April, they are typically good. Everything is very seasonal, and membership is no exception. What happened in the previous 6 months? So I'd set a total goal of year-long goal of 117 net members. What happened in the previous 6 months is that we actually gained 94. So that was pretty dramatic to me. And the reason that happened, I am fully convinced, is because those community workshops kept people coming, that you guys funded, kept people coming to the library consistently in times when they didn't need to borrow tools, the tools that they normally borrow. So we had a goal of 117 for the year. We are actually at plus 94 already. That was supposed to be 25% growth. We are on pace at 45% growth. I cannot promise that. I have no idea if we are going to have the next 6 months are going to show the same kind of growth that we had the previous 6 months, but those are the numbers, and so that's what I'm telling you. Obviously, your grant. This is critical. So the key impact that your grant had on our ability to get these folks memberships is that your grants subsidize the membership cost and make the library accessible to all. What do I mean by that? Membership normally costs $120 per member. But because of grants like yours, we are able to allow, to offer our membership on a sliding scale that puts the memberships, it gives a discount of up to 83% off that total price, which means we can offer the membership as low as $20 a year. We actually have ways to bridge that gap between 0 and 20, folks that really cannot even make 20. We'd like to have some skin in the game, whether that's volunteer hours or the $20. We want to make sure that people have some kind of investment in the library, but your grant dollars are what makes that possible. And of course, the community workshops that you guys also funded kept the library traffic high. We had one objective: prevent waste. How are we doing? So last year we did 16.8 tons. Our goal was 20.7 tons. Our current membership and usage, if we gain no more members with the 20.9 tons, we are on pace. Again, I can't brag to make 23.2 tons. We were hoping for 20% growth. We are on pace for 36. And the only thing I have to say is thank you guys, because genuinely, I had no expectation that our membership would grow the way that it did during these extremely lean months. And it was because of the grant funds that you guys provided. So that's our presentation, and we've got time for questions if anybody has them.
I have one. On your workshops, can you name the types of workshops you have?
Sure. Yeah, Paul, you want to join me up here? This is Paul Paget. He's our operations director.
So a large majority of them are big workshops and like we've taught several of them. People for like clothing, to fix up holes, to learn a new skill, to be able to repair stuff that they can run their house. But we all have also done quite a lot of tool courses, so things to help people learn how to work on their homes. Got that electrical how-to class, which is how to safely repair things around their house electrically. We've also been working on a couple different repair fair workshops. We're going to try to allow people to bring in things that they've had around their home that are broken.
Yeah.
But primarily, it's focused on learning a hobby or learning a skill or taking care of stuff around your house.
Are these workshops once a quarter, once a month, whenever you have them?
We've been having them
Weekly.
we've been having a really huge uptick in them. Some of them are paid workshops where people do have to, at the $10 ticket cost, but that's more just to make sure that people do actually have like some reason to attend.
Right.
We've seen that,
Yeah.
if we open it up for free workshops, we'll have the class completely fill up in a week and there's nobody who shows up.
Yeah.
So it's seats that are unavailable for other people, but weekly might be, I guess every other month, what it has been the last couple of weeks.
What's the number per class?
How many people?
Yeah.
I think we try to keep it around 15 for fiberwork stuff, just because it takes a lot more space. In a more instructional class, it's up to 35. I think Mitch allows up to 35 in this class. It's been honestly one of the things that this is also helping us with is to clean out some extra space in our facility, actually fill the classroom. So we are working on trying to make sure. Yeah. Right now we've got couches. We are trying to produce a proper classroom for more use.
That's Jeff.
I'll just share quickly. I just joined the Tool Library like a month or so ago. I was one of those April people in your chart. And I've just been so impressed with how organized everything is and how extensive the inventory is. Like, it's great and has been really valuable for me. So I'm glad to be part of it with my member hat on. And
the Tool Library is like 75% organizing, and like the rest of it is shelves. Like you would have no idea. It's like so much shelves.
Cool.
Yeah, no, very cool. I have a huge bias, but it's like one of my favorite things in the whole city. And the people who are members and the people who volunteer there are some of my favorite. I've met more incredible people just working behind the circulation desk, volunteering for the 2 hours that it takes. More people there than any other thing.
What about thievery and whatnot, of tools and
Yeah.
equipment and whatnot?
We were really concerned about loss prevention when we started this project. We were really, really worried about it. The truth of the matter is that in the 4 years that we've been open, 4 years now, we have had like 2 problem borrowers. And even those folks weren't stealing, they just had executive function problems and it was tough for them to get the stuff back to us. And when we talked to them about it, we were able to get it back. I don't know how many, there's
One person didn't bring it.
one person didn't bring stuff back.
I don't
We know who they are.
I think they are
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Not gonna name names, not gonna name names, but we know who they are. They don't, we don't. And we have ways to mitigate that. We make sure that we take a form of ID from everyone. And we have a tool delinquency policy that everyone has to sign with steps, with gradated steps. And we've genuinely had to sit twice in over 20,000 dollars.
And I will be the first to admit, I didn't think it would work. I have been completely skeptical of it the entire time my partner and I were talking about when we started. You know, it took her 5 years of convincing me finally to say, well, I don't really care what you think. Started it. And after that happened, I started volunteering and seeing how you change your mindset once you actually see how valuable it is for people. And you realize that there's less impetus for people to take things when they realize that, well, if I steal these 4 tools that might have a value of $400, then I've lost access to, you know, an enormous value of tools. So, you know, it was certainly something I was concerned about to begin with. Once you kind of remove the mindset of theft and then start to refocus on just like community value, it kind of just becomes a wash. That and also, you know, of our inventory, 3,500 tools now, all of them were donated except for about. So it's all built by the community. So we can't really assign a value to those stuff because it was just that stuff in their basement.
Can you talk a little bit about your involvement with the repair fair and any plans to, you know, continue that or expand it in the future?
So are you talking about a specific event that already exists in the city? I may not be able to speak to that.
Probably the one that we partnered with Sheldon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we sent 2 volunteers out to help with that. You know, obviously, did everything that we could to Megathon it on our social media, make sure that anybody that was following us knew about it going on. I don't know to what extent we actually did repairs there. I think we did that. But, you know, a couple of folks that we had as volunteers.
Yeah.
We'd love to, go ahead.
We were able to get a couple of volunteers who aren't your volunteers, but who signed up to do things that they didn't have access. Out from you all for that event.
And we've also done one with the public library, so I might be conflating those two, but we've done a few. We are looking at trying to do some in the tool library itself. Probably going to have to wait till we get the classroom built.
Yeah, we've got formal partnerships with a couple different organizations. Formal partnership with Louisville Habitat for Humanity. We provide completely free membership to new Habitat homeowners on the first year of their time owning the house. And then we haven't announced this, and it's just happening this week, but we are beginning a partnership just this week with the Old Louisville Farmers Market and their food assistance program that is specifically for residents of Old Louisville. Those folks, as they receive that food assistance, can opt into free library as well.
Any further questions? Yes, sir.
I was wondering if y'all track where you're from, zip codes, and if you know of any situations where you have people borrowing these tools to or how it's impacted their life?
So very much our hope is that the library makes keeping a dwelling livable, accessible for everyone. That is definitely the goal. We do track the zip codes that borrowers come from. Primarily, we have a list of like 8 zip codes where all like 90% of our borrowers live. The city is large geographically, and I wish we had multiple. Yeah.
We'll say, we have somebody out in the west end that's looking for. And we really hope that that goes off, just because we would love to be more accessible.
Yes.
And, you know, they would be their own entity. We'd love to help them however we can to get started. Tools to get started with.
Yeah.
I think lessons learned in life, but the main thing is we want to make sure that they can learn from what we have done, start something that is successful. Because we love to be available to everybody in the city.
Location constraints, yeah. We try as often as possible to encourage anyone we talk to that's interested about this, including other existing school libraries, to cheat off our homework. Yeah. I mean, that's what we did when we got started. We borrowed almost everything that we started with from the Chicago Tool Library. We stole a lot of core concepts and operating from them. I happened to be in LA the week that LA opened their own first tool library down in Koreatown. And I hope you don't mind, but I handed them our grant, the grant application that we did with you guys, and said, you guys should do this. The math just checks out. This is an extremely affordable way to prevent all of this. Yeah. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. Let's go back to the education calendar staff report.
We'll go ahead and say that I have.
Stop sharing one screen.
I have the May calendar up, even though we're almost done with May. I did have to add a couple things on there when I showed it to you, but then I have to. It's nice to be able to see kind of a visual representation of what we're doing. So that was May. We do have a couple of events coming up Saturday. We are going to be at the Alberta O. Jones Day at the park, and then District 15 has been doing a Building Our Blocks program, and we'll be at their event at Windup Park. We did a few tours this month, and I believe Anita even joined in on the tour. Nice. And then if you want to go ahead and jump over to June, you would think that maybe we'll slow down because school's out, but no. We have a lot of things going on this summer as well. There's another tour that you all want to join in on, or even just go at a different time. The Mary Street tour, if you guys have it, we're in very connected to us because it's landfill. But it's really cool. So let me know if you are interested in that one. But yeah, you can see all the classes in the orange color. We will be at the Woodland Hills Summer Fest with Sean on June 20th. And yeah, lots of touch of trucks. And I'd rather be reading as an organization. They've asked us to join in on a lot. If you haven't been to Smurfit West Route, you get another chance to go on June 11th. And we'll be doing a couple waste audits too. That's the blue. The Texas Roadhouse corporate building, we've been in contact with them for actually a few years, working with them on lowering waste at a big golf scramble type thing. they do, and they recently helped them in their building. And the OMB Metro office, we're gonna do this.
On your summer education program, yes, are you, I guess it's reciprocal, are you reaching out to different camps around the city to try to do some stuff, or are they asking you guys, or?
I think we got the I'd rather be reading connection by attending a cultural thing where a lot of organizations have their month. But that's kind of how that partnership started. We already have a partnership with the library, so they got. And otherwise, it's just kind of like word of mouth, social media. But I will say at the very end, like just last week or whatever, right before school ended, we put another advertisement in a JCPS newsletter for teachers to go out before school ended, saying, hey, we're booking for next school year if you want. And we actually, I don't know if you counted, but we got quite a few already for next year. So we were kind of excited about that, just to get them on the calendar, whether it's fall or spring, we got it all. So yeah, feel free to share with any, or let us know if there's any contact.
Any questions on the calendar?
When's the next drop off at Fleet? Gonna be,
It'll be July 18th.
thanks.
But yes, July and, or I think the month that we ended up at Fleet Services. But yeah, June 13th is our next pop-up drop off at DOS. We just had one May 16th at Funny Park. We had about 279 participants at that one, which is close to what we had last year. And I haven't, because I got back from vacation, I haven't finished the data, but yeah, we were pretty pleased because apparently it was a really rainy day, but we still had.
All right, thank you, Karen. There was no advisory committee report in May. The advisory committee is waiting on us to assign items to them. And anything that you wanted to share on behalf of the advisory committee?
No, we didn't.
Okay, well,
Thank you for that.
thank you for putting that in context. All right, let's go to new business. Recycle coach.
The recycle coach is, up for, we have to pay it, so it's over $5,000. I know y'all know what recycle coach is. I think, Karen, if I'm not mistaken, the only difference on this was the, annual fee for languages,
Yeah.
which is $1,200.
Yeah, last year we asked for that mid-year of the contract, so it was a prorated cost, and now we're up to where it's I think $400 per language. That we have the full cost on the bill.
Karen, could you remind us what were the languages were again?
So the Arabic. And then they do a text. There's a little bit of extra for text. Go ahead and add on. We don't. That was from a few years ago. Not many of you were here, but they added it on later, and then it was like, oh, that's more than we expected or whatever. So now it all comes out because there's extra.
So they invoice us for overages ahead of time?
Yes. I don't know that they're considered overages.
What is it?
It's just, I think if you remember, Pete, it was not on the original request or something, and then it got added on, and they're like, oh yeah, because
If we don't get to that number, do they rebate the amount? Like if they're assuming $646 in overage, if they only send $3,200 worth of text messages, do they ever fund that, or is it just you pay for the?
I
Yeah.
think unless the overages, I can double check on this. I can double check and tell you later, but it might be that they give us overages on this bill from the last time. And because it's
Okay.
weird how, yeah. you
Yeah, that
don't
would make
really
more
know what
sense
the
than,
overages
yeah, then
are.
otherwise why are you
Yeah.
not just going?
Yeah,
I-
$100 a month?
Those
I think the
overages are for
first
last
time they
year.
put overages, we didn't know it was coming.
So I'm assuming the phone system text costs for a certain number of texts. Last year, we went over that certain number of texts and we're catching up to the
Yeah.
646,
Yeah.
646, 46
for
from,
overages.
from last year, from that certain
Yeah.
number of texts.
We'll confirm that.
Yeah, do we,
Right, but that's-
Because that's the only way I can,
I don't think it was originally set, but that's the
Yeah.
limit. I think that the success of a lot of programs, their model had to change. It was added after that, and I think that's where that situation arose.
for all.
How that was,
yeah, do we have any idea how many text messages? Like just the, I assume it's a lot, I just didn't know what.
I have a few slides coming that I did some screenshots from the dashboard. So you can kind of see a little bit of what I can see. when
We
I
can
look
go
at
back
that.
to this. Do y'all want to see the slides real quick, the numbers?
Oh, sure, I didn't know, sorry, I didn't know we had.
Yeah, I
to do
have
that.
a few.
Oh, there we go. Yep, I was
So
gonna
this
say that's about
one
40,000.
is participation method. This is actually for the month of April, and it's how many participation, how many web app participants there have been, mobile app, and then the communication is how many messages have been sent. But that would also include email. Then the calendar is more like PDF. Some people like to print their PDF. And the graph, because see how the mobile app is highlighted, that graph is for the mobile app. And it shows the ending dot at April is the 17,488, but you can see how it fluctuates each month. And then the dotted line is the same thing last year. People
okay.
get the app, delete the app, whatever, and
Okay.
subscribe and unsubscribe. So they give you monthly data, however you want to look at it. But yeah, we're a little more consistent, I guess, than we were last year and higher. And then this one is new subscribers. So you can kind of see how people request. If you have it on your smartphone, you don't have to get texts or emails. You get push notifications that just pop up on your phone. So that's what the mobile app, those people would be getting. 632 wanted emails and 158 want the text message from people requested to be a phone call. And then, so the 2,121 is from this year only. I just decided to look at it that way, January to today. And then I went ahead and looked at the numbers each month. So I was curious how, and these are like new added. So I was just curious. So like January, we had a big push, and I usually do some kind of social media in January surrounding Cycle Coach and what searched the most and try to get people to get the app. So anyway, you can kind of see it's about an average of 400 for new subscribers. And this one, I know it's a little tiny. It's our material search. So if you haven't gotten the app or whatever, you can search the tools, not tools. It's a search tool. You search items to figure out how to get rid of it. So the left column, which is the current period, that's in order, that's in rank order. So this the past 30 days, we had the most searches for television. And so on. But if you look at the previous period, which would be the 30 days prior to that, you can see what the rank was of those same items. And then the current period, meaning this exact time last year, again, you see the rank there. So sorry, the little blue number is kind of hard to see, but I think number one, like for the current period last year, televisions was actually hot. That makes sense.
So the fact it's called flat screens going bad, then look nothing to do with it.
Oh, right.
Like
Yeah.
flat screen TVs and they go out and you're like.
Is that pop-off drop-off
What
for
about it?
those type of TVs?
You can. Or the waste reduction. But anyway, so the number of searches will fluctuate, but we can see that
Pump the
on our
numbers
dashboard.
up.
Oh, are you gonna check?
Hopefully,
You can't see.
television, drop-off locations, and it gives you some,
Construction
yeah,
work,
waste
your
reduction
line
center,
limit.
drop-off locations.
Completely off subject, but what about the tubes? They have some really long
Fluorescent light.
fluorescent lights.
If you search that, it'll tell you that you need. to add
That's
this.
waste, okay.
I think, is that my last
Yes.
graph? Okay, so if you want to go back to the other thing. Yeah, if there's any other data that you think you might want or have questions, I'm happy to look it up, ask, whatever needs to happen. But it is a highly beneficial tool. We still only have one home rule city that has this past year added their addresses to it. So it is open for any home rule city to put that address list and name in, and that is all free. It just kind of everybody in the city of Louisville will be able to open their calendar and see our pop-up drop-offs and any other repair fair, any other educational event that we are part of, we can add to that calendar. And then if you are in the urban service or Lawn Park, then you would also see your collection day. It reminders.
What about the unincorporated areas of the county?
That is because it's not, we can't add one individual person's collection day. Now,
No,
in
I'm
the
not,
smaller one to.
but just general information. you
Oh,
know.
yeah, everybody can get any of that information. I'm
Okay.
talking
Yeah, it
about
just wouldn't
calendar.
have the little section that's like your schedule for
Okay,
recycling.
yeah.
and
Yeah.
others and
It's
trash.
just the collection from your house schedule that is only shown to, it's just blank, it's a blank. If you have it, it's just a blank calendar.
Any demand for any additional languages other than the three?
No one, not that I am aware of. As you know, I mean, you all approved that before and based on their list of offers.
Do we have any usage data for those languages?
No, unfortunately. When we first got that, I know that question was asked and they said there wasn't. I can always check this. Nothing in the dashboard. It seems like
Yeah,
they
if
would want to know that as
we're
well,
offering,
but,
they gotta be able to check it.
I'll ask about it again.
It seems like if nothing else, they should be able to fit it into a profile. So if you have a chosen language in your profile,
Hmm.
then they could just pull the number of people with
Yeah,
that preferred
the way it
language.
works right now, and maybe it's why they can't do it, is you can arbitrary,
Hmm.
like when you're in the app or even online, but you change it and then you change it. So, I don't know, not like part of your user.
All right,
So we're asking the board to renew the contract for another year with Recycle.
I would move to renew.
A second.
questions? And are we asking them about that overages?
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll confirm and I can let you know. At this point, I would say it's overages from last time
No, it's
added
something
on
that-
and then
yeah.
the estimate. So, but I will confirm that. I'll know if that is.
Yeah, it looks like they're charging like 10 cents a text message and it, you know, that matches up with the 41,000 or so text message.
Yeah, and I would think, and I can also ask that it would be a credit.
Right, yeah, get that.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the
Yeah.
previous year, yeah.
Okay, so do we want to amend the motion to do to approve a not to exceed amount of 15,746.46 pending, the follow-up with Recycle Coach?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm asking if we can amend,
The one time though.
if we can amend your motion, to approve a not to exceed amount of 15,746.46 pending, the follow-up about text
Yeah, so,
overages.
yeah,
Oh,
So,
I agree.
Re-second? Is
I
that
agree,
okay?
second.
Okay.
all right. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, Veolia, calls for battery collection at drop-off events.
Yeah. So, this is, I think you all asked about how much it would be for battery collection at drop-off events, and Karen reached out to Veolia. And this is what it would cost for an event, for them to come and collect batteries, package them up, and take them away from the event.
Oh, one event?
One event.
And so Veolia does these kinds of events and in other counties all the time. Whether I think it's just battery collection events a lot of times, whereas we're asking about we're just adding it to a pop-up event. But the good thing is people are already coming and we already have a good promotion of that. But he basically used data from, they know how many people have attended events and how much they get at these events. So he used data that they already have to give an estimate of how many batteries of each type people would probably bring. So really, we don't know the exact amount because this is an estimate for including the disposal. The only thing for sure would be the labor, which is for a 2-man crew to come for 4 hours, for the 4-hour event. So it says 8 hours.
Right.
And
So-
then we would, no matter, like, we can't really hold an event like this on our own. We don't have ways to transport anything. So, or even to do it. So as far as the labor, like, that's really the only way it can be done. And then of course he said, which is totally logical, but he was like, yeah, the more the event's promoted, the more batteries you're gonna get. And he definitely sees that in some counties, they don't have a promotion and they don't. All in some counties, really promoting it and they get a lot more. So that's why, I told him we have an average about 500 people coming. But you do have to remember at the pop-up events, we're offering all these different categories. So it doesn't get 500 people coming. It doesn't necessarily all 500 with batteries. So I don't know. I do know a lot of batteries though. So we might get just as many, but,
So based on that number, if it was real and correct, we're talking about $130,000 a year, right?
if you held it at every pop-up
Right,
event.
right.
Well,
But
one
we
thought
wouldn't do that.
might be that we just choose an event and
We wouldn't do
we
them
try
all.
to highly advertise, hey, at
Yeah.
this event,
Mhm.
we are.
Yeah, I think it would
offering
be a
this.
good
Yeah.
idea just to see if this is
Right,
realistic for what it is. I mean, we
Right.
have, not that we want to go out of our way to spend money, but I mean, this reflects just how big of an issue this is for
Right,
people and how many batteries are in homes.
oh,
And
yeah,
I can speak for the waste industry. We do not want those in trucks. That is a fire hazard and a health hazard. I mean, that's, having them dropped off at the has been is just as problematic and just as expensive. I mean, I think it would be a good idea if the board approves it to have an event that we choose to say, these are the batteries we accept, see what the numbers are. You know, we have a $3.5 million carryover, even if this is
right,
half of what it ends up being, right? If it's $20,000, you're still getting value out of what you put into it, even if it's a lot higher than expected, but that gives us a frame for like, okay, well, this is a much bigger problem.
I'd be good with putting it at one of the historically higher attended drop-offs. See what that looks like.
About all the lines though, I mean,
Well, okay, it's a line, it's
Yeah.
4 hours.
people aren't gonna want
Yeah.
It's 4 hours, okay? If
Yeah.
that impacted over time, while you're there,
Yeah, yeah.
come on.
If you were in a hurry, you wouldn't be going to
Right,
pop up.
right.
drop off.
Also, so you
If
gotta,
you're in that big of a hurry.
you gotta keep in mind,
Yeah,
Veolia,
yeah, yeah.
are they gonna be available for the event? So you might have to be
Sure, sure.
flexible
Yeah,
with them on
Right, yeah,
where
I
they have
understand.
things.
Yeah, I think if we can coordinate with them on events, and I
Right.
mean, obviously, your all's, thoughts are important on what event makes sense, both in
Right.
terms of volume, but then accessibility. Like, if we have some sites that aren't as easy to get in and out of, then
Mhm.
if we expect higher traffic, don't choose that event.
Because you'd have to ask Veolia what size truck they're bringing and make sure you got enough room to put it someplace. And the people actually get to it. Like Mr. Brian said, they're in a hurry, they're gonna throw it out and put it out of the way, so.
the only large ones here are the lead acid, right?
Well,
They
if
would.
Veolia is there, they would have an hour.
Right.
No, I'm just saying from a size or a weight standpoint, the only big ones here are lead
Oh,
acid,
well, yeah,
everything else
those-
is small.
Everything's, well, regular size,
Yeah.
small.
I mean, is this something that can be done on an ongoing, continuing basis at the Waste Reduction Center for the non-lead acid, a little bit of lead acid batteries?
No, we don't have the capability or the batteries. Because we can't transport them.
We're talking small stuff here. I mean, this is a lot of money.
What's the special drums, aren't they? Are they special drums you gotta have? So you gotta
Yeah.
buy the drums
Right.
that you don't have, right?
Yep, we do have a question or comment from the corner. I didn't know if you.
We get your all's recycling. We did collect batteries, lead acid, lithium, in April. We collected 5 55-gallon drums, and of course, we don't only get them. There's another. But we're also not. But just to give you an idea, we collected 5 55-gallon drums in April. That was, 1,008.
Let them know where you're from.
That's at West Drive.
Yeah,
I was
Some
from
people-
West Drive.
People might-
I'm with Chick-fil-A.
We get all the- we get all the residential. Backside, backside. So we've had 7 fires since we. Just takes one to take down our plant. The fire was caused by a battery, but they just took a really big hit, took about just 90% of. Really do back this, we would love to see, something happening with, but we took it upon ourselves to try to get some data to. Try to put it out there, but that's everything. 55 gallons.
This is cheaper. This is tremendously cheaper.
One, if it, and anything that happens there, I mean, event, that cost is gonna have to be absorbed or passed on at some point, like our recycling facility in Nashville caught fire last fall. because of batteries on the sort line, and it was $1.5 million to fix the facility. And in that time, because we had to take the line down,
Right.
to bale the material and ship it to someplace that could accept it, instead of, it doubled the price basically to bring material to recycle for the period of the line.
What about haz waste? What about do they take them now? Batteries?
That has,
That has been.
yes.
How much do we advertise that?
Well, if you're how to get rid of a battery.
It'll show up, yeah.
Yeah, but in general,
Maybe
I
talk
mean,
about
I'm looking at something that's gonna be ongoing that doesn't require us to spend potentially $130,000 a year.
Well, okay,
Um,
keep saying ongoing. We're
Plus,
look- we're looking
haz
at-
waste,
we're
has
looking
been
at-
is open on an ongoing basis.
Well, we're looking at one site, one drop off
Well, that's,
as a test pilot.
are people gonna wanna hang on to these lithium ion batteries at their homes? Other than if they're still using them?
They're already
I
doing
mean,
it.
I've got batteries at my house that I use for my
So,
weed whacker and my snow blower, but,
So I would probably suggest starting with two, and going from there, Mr. Flood.
I have a question. Have we investigated recycle? That there's a program that they're doing, that Auto Recycle is an industry take back program or environment thing. I'm not sure if it was required by them to have a program. But it basically, they said you have a box. People can put their stuff in it. You ship the box back to them, batteries to them, and it comes, a new box comes. And then they started charging a little bit. It originally started off at free. So I would just, of course, spending a lot of money, I think that it'd be wise to take a look at Auto Recycle. See if there's some opportunity. Over our costs.
Sorry, I've been gone for 10 days and my brain remember what I did right before I left. I think that's it. Well, some things. First of all, call to recycle and change, it's now called the battery network. And I just pulled up the website. To jog my memory. There is still a
While she's looking that up, and Andy, I don't know if it's happened with you all, but here at Louisville Metro, we've had 2 trucks just this year caught on fire because of battery.
Yep.
And
So I
what's
mean,
the cost of that each time?
Depends on how severe it is. I mean, the last one, we lost the truck altogether.
yeah, a truck is
Like this cost
$300,000 to
seems really
$400,000.
minimal.
And I-
Not to
just-
mention like concern about employees.
Not just us, not the numerous other haulers within Jefferson County.
We have Hometown Hauling here. Have you had any, recent experience with,
Yeah, and
battery fires?
recently, but in the
I think, it can also cause landfill fires and things like that all. Not just when it's in the truck.
This, box is in the person with it.
No,
With
we
the-
actually,
with
I
the
think
set-
we-
Well, who packed the box? Not working?
it is actually a station that.
Basically, I think what I learned that I had sent was you basically buy the container and ship it when it's full, and that would be we do that here at the office already. There's a cardboard box, it's lined with something, no, but it looks different from normal cardboard. And I shipped we have 2 boxes, a pack of 2. It took quite a while, but I just shipped the full first box right before I left for my vacation, and the other one is open. There's instructions on it with tape. So you can take so that is safe and allowable.
Well,
in that way.
trying to picture how that would work at a pop-up. The people would have to get out of the car, or somebody would have to man the box, or
Mhm.
something.
And then they would be responsible to tape their own batteries?
No,
Well,
that'd be
there
on
is
us.
something on the website here called One Drum, and it is a drum. And it says, changing the way large volumes of consumer batteries are collected and recycled.
Disrupting batteries.
Save all-in-one solution that lets you place mixed primary, single-use, and rechargeable batteries into one container without sorting by chemistry, individually bagging or taping. And, so you can't see the price though on these. So that's what there is no other connection except organization design that.
Yeah, and even then, you're looking at one drum versus 14 30-gallon drums there. So I mean,
I mean, we can still contact.
yeah.
to see the price.
It sounds like the options that we have are approve one or more battery drop-off events, table it, and do research on alternatives.
I mean, I'm gonna continue to vote no on this until Metro does a lot more research on this. It gives us more than one possibility. I mean, one option is like sole source, which when I worked for Metro, I hated the idea of sole source procurements. This is a sole source procurement.
I think that there's opportunity. Dollars.
I don't mean this to sound, I think we already do with the 5% license fee and the 2% license fee, which is what created the $3.6 million budget.
I would agree.
Over,
with
yeah.
the landfill.
Yeah, I mean,
Not necessarily all the other.
sure, yeah, it's not the haulers, it's the, yeah, sorry, that's a good point. It's the disposal sites rather than the haulers, but,
Mentioned the pop-ups, maybe doing one at a high attended event. I can just go ahead and tell you, our Fern Creek. August 15th is Fern Creek, and that's pretty high attended one. Shelby Campus is very high attended and it's not. So, you know, if we knew we wanted to do one event and we wanted the other July, October, Sun Valley.
Mr. Chair, if I may, let me make this motion. As a pilot program, I say we let staff do one drop off at the Winnipesaukee Shelby campus location, which is in November. Give staff time to promote it, put it out there, where they can actually have a drop off event in addition to the battery recycling event as well. That's my motion.
Do you hear a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion, feedback, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed?
Opposed?
All right, the ayes do have it. Motion passes. Gibson. So we will plan to have a battery drop off as part of the pop-up drop off on or during the Shelby campus event.
And that also provides time if that doesn't work for Veolia, that we can come back and amend.
Right.
If it has to be.
Right, if that's a different one, yes. Yeah, but I'm
I'll
thinking,
reach out.
Yeah, but I'm thinking out in November. I would
Yeah,
hope.
sure.
That'd be plenty of time. Because I was thinking it too. I was like, they could have been GT Live. I was like, I'll start next month. Isn't that won't work?
All right, thank you. It looks like that's everything for new business. Let's move to public input. So, anyone wishing to be heard on items not pertaining to today's agenda? Gibson.
I know this has been, budget hearing at Metro Council. Are we hearing anything different, anything special that this board should be aware of? That's question and answer period.
Don't worry.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, we had our public works. As it pertains to several things that are process public works. Ways to be more efficient, like you know. Staffing perspective. Probably it's well staffed. Close to 500. We're going to place there the management. No vacancy. Yes, that's progress. Also, and all in on. Activations. It stands right now, there's nothing really shattering that I've seen. Council follow up. Street sweeping. Partnerships that we have. Something that's reversible. Facing pressures at state level. We're all trying to work together.
Thank you, sir.
Wes, if I might. We still at 3 sweepings a year in the urban service district? I know you're new, you may not be familiar.
Yes, we are.
When I was in New Haven, we were doing 14 times a year in the central area, city, 14 times. Made a big difference. And, you know, I've been pushing for cleanliness issues for a long time. And you do a lot better. I know it costs a lot of money, but whatever we can do in that regard, I appreciate it.
That was one of the
I know we were working, when I was working with, shoot, the previous, assistant director, Keith, thank you. We were working on trying to get more contracted street sweeping, done on, at least on the major roads and whatnot, and we weren't able to move on that. Hopefully that's something you can work on in the future.
Yeah, we are working closely right now. There's a lot of things right now. Cool.
Certainly.
Getting on it all. So we're working, we have one. Working with. Deciding.
Yep.
Totally agree. We have the resource. Yeah. All areas. For now.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Makes a big difference and people notice it too.
Yeah.
Two more questions if I may, I apologize, but, the outer loop, Keith and I started that contractor program out there by the landfill, which is always difficult from a, dirty standpoint. Is that still going on? We're doing it on a monthly basis, I think we were doing it. The outer loop near the landfill, you're having a contractor sweep that,
It's split. The WM pays for every other month and Metro pays for every other month. So it's still done monthly, but we split the cost.
outstanding, thank you.
Yeah, I did a tour this morning, and they were happy to be out there.
Yeah, when it's not done, it's a
They
big.
really were. It just happened to be out there. We were
Outstanding.
like, that's not, no offense, that's not because you're here.
Make it look good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And lastly, my old division roads. We lost 13 positions in 2019. Has there been any opportunities to get any of those positions back?
Yeah, so in terms of roads, we, we're about a year and a half.
Right.
Transportation. What that did was, put some groups that were different, totally different departments. Planning, roads, maintenance aspect, design aspect, sort of put that together and make. That was be more efficient, be able to get projects funded and really more. We've seen some success. So as part of that, there was a whole restructure. But roads to see. Take more resources. And I think.
Good.
Really good indicator for me. Work.
Thank you.
I will second Mr. Funk on the street sweeping. I'd definitely like to see ways that we can improve that. Spoken with Mr. Flood about that in the past, and it sounds like it's a capacity issue and a cost issue, especially from like if Metro were going to have, their own fleet of street sweepers, it sounds like it's pretty cost prohibitive.
It is, but it's all. Look at. Case building. Whatever reason, that pool of bidders and contractors. Seems to be diminishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. You have little competition, you're gonna have high costs.
Just the one.
Maybe that's something that we can get the advisory committee to kind of dig into and see if there's any, as you're sitting here just waiting.
And she gets it. She's just like, man, now we have to meet.
Look at that
Yeah.
I'd be happy.
But
to help
I
you with
think that'd be a feather in the cap if we can add some solutions or some value there. Thank you.
Just let me know.
Other questions from public? All right, move to announcements. Pop-up drop-off at Doss High School on June 13th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Next advisory committee meeting is June 17th, 4:30. And the next 109 board meeting is June 24th at 5:30 to 7 p.m. Any questions, feedback? A motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Yeah, go for all three.